some, like, imagine me and then some weird animated dog that can walk and talk, and
Yeah.
then some evil character of some sort.
Yeah, I feel like you need a jingle. So yeah,
Get on that.
welcome to the Casus Belli Show, everybody. We are here today to play some Rocket League in the background, just to entertain everybody while we talk, and we're going to chat about gaming topics and kind of anything that comes out, and we'll also be here for about an hour. So strap in. Before we get into any of those topics, though, we do have our little group here in Rocket League. What kind of match do you want to play?
Well, there's only two of us, so we might as well do some 2v2s.
You want to do competitive, or do you want to do just regular doubles?
The last time I played this was probably last year, but fine, go for competitive. I'm well up for that.
All right. Competitive doubles.
I'm not sure I remember how to drive at the moment.
And we'll do 3 regions. We'll either play US or Europe, depending on what we find.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow, lots of stuff happening in the gaming world right now.
Yeah.
Lots of releases upcoming, lots of expansions that have just hit. What are you playing over there on Midgeman right now?
Well, I've got my custom nation EU4 Mare Nostrum game, which, spoiler alert, is kind of taken a turn of oh dear. Like most of my gameplay does.
I've never seen that before, ever.
You've never seen me fail at EU4?
No,
really?
No, never. Not. I mean, I was, well, maybe every time, but not recently.
I've got a follower. Thank you, Oglebi 2011. Nice for you to join us.
You're up. Go get it.
Oh God.
So apparently Midge hasn't played in a little while, so this should be interesting. Well, this is already taking a strange turn. Oh, that's a bad turn.
Shit. Yeah, no, we might have...
Whoop. There you go, I got it.
Okay, cool. But yes, so I've been playing a lot of Mare Nostrum. I'm trying to get back into CK2, but I just haven't got the time. I need to finish my XCOM 2 Let's Play. That's kind of dragging my late night slot a little bit along. It's annoying because I keep having trouble with the save file and things.
Oh, that's never good.
So sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't. Oh, come on!
Oh, I think I had meant to put that in, and instead I think I put it out.
Oh dear. Well, as long as this doesn't go in,
yeah,
like that.
Yeah, so Mare Nostrum, what are your thoughts so far? Because the expansion's been out for what, a couple weeks now. So I've had, I've got 2 series going right now with Mare Nostrum. I've got the multiplayer with Bob, where I'm basically Genoa and he is Tunis. So we're kind of adversaries, though on separate continents. So it hasn't come to direct blows quite yet. Nice shot, by the way.
Thank you. I literally unpaused the game because I was sorting out some vocal volumes. I was like, oh, there's a ball there.
So yeah, I've got the Genoa multiplayer, which is actually a lot of fun. And then, except for last episode, speaking of spoilers, I made I won't spoil too much, but I made a massive misclick that will have huge repercussions for the rest of the series. But then I've also started a nice not enough meat on that one. I've also started a Venice single player, because Venice is traditionally a very hard country to survive as. Oh, right underneath that. Because they're kind of right there. They're not part of the HRE. They're right next to Austria. Hungary is usually an issue. The Ottomans are usually a problem. So yeah, survival as Venice is fairly rare, at least in a lot of the gameplays up to this point. So I'm curious with the new trade mechanics and the trade league factor if Venice will be a little bit better of an option than in previous times, but
I haven't seen them survive that much in my experience, though. Even so,
yeah. With the player, I guess would be my point. I don't think they're gonna.
Yeah.
They're never gonna survive well. I don't think in a just purely AI compassion.
Yeah,
but,
I get you.
But I think It's funny because a lot of people do the Byzantium thing. I almost think Byzantium's easier than the Ottomans, and that might be a little heretical to say, but not that Byzantium's not hard, but you can at least get some beefier allies because of the Ottoman factor.
Yeah. Something I have noticed a lot more smaller nations become powerful with this patch. For example, in my game, I have a independent Croatia that owns the entirety of the Balkans. Well, not the Balkans. Is it the Balkans? The Bosnia region. No, the Balkans.
The Balkans. Well, it's in that area. Yeah, I mean, the Balkans is kind of Bosnian, Serbian, Ottomans area there.
Well, yeah. It's pretty much its own little block nation there, and it was like, I've never seen this happen before. And but that game has some really weird things. France doesn't exist. Basically, all the micronations of France have been released and taken all the land of it. Push you into the ball.
Yeah. I just did a little reverse.
I have beep, beep. Spain that owns like the Flanders region. I don't know how, but they inherited all the Burgundy, as well as having the PU over Aragon.
So
then Austria's got a personal union over England.
Oh wow, that's awkward.
It's a really and then Portugal's like really expanding into the territory I want to expanding. Huh. It's a very much of a big mishmash of giant nations, and I'm a tiny nation in the middle of them.
So the funny thing on the Spain thing is like that's actually historical, right? Like Spanish Netherlands was a thing, but what's weird is you rarely see that in EU4, even though that's actually what happened, which I always thought was kind of strange.
And Spain has a Habsburg on the throne, like they did historically as well.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's it's kind of fun when you get those like historical things that you just don't see very often in EU4 just due to the game mechanics. But no, I mean, what's been your experience with Mare Nostrum so far? Any features that you do like, that you hate, that you think need to be reworked yet?
Well, I can't tell because I didn't play Cossacks. So I'm very like out of place. So I don't know what's new to this or what's new to just my experience.
2v1 right now? Yes, we are. I was like, this seems way too easy because I'm really bad at this game. So
yeah, no, there was just one guy. Oh, I got a new topper. But yeah. So I like the corruption mechanic. That's something I quite like. I do not like, however, the struggle I went through where I had like rebels. I had about 20 rebel stacks bigger than my own army appear straight after a white peace war against the Ottomans. It wasn't fun. So I've just, in my recording, not even the stuff that's out, which is about 7 episodes later, gotten out of the real shit of that. And I'm about 13 loans down the hole sort of level.
Ouch. Yeah, speaking of loans, that's the one thing I think I have noticed in general about the new expansion. It feels like making money is harder all of a sudden.
Yes.
Like, I feel like, in general... Oh, boy. I feel like, in general, that I was making more money with countries I'd played before, and now that I'm in the Mare Nostrum, I struggled to even just break even a lot of times with countries that used to be very, very advantageous financially.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what the cause of that is. Maybe it's the states mechanic, because really they've kind of added a lot of expenses with things like the states mechanics and things like corruption. So I'm almost wondering, did they kind of add... Yeah, well, I think they added so many expenses, but they really didn't tweak the income at all.
Yeah, I've noticed the same, I think.
Yeah, and it's become an issue in a couple. Like, and it's funny because if you think about those two that I'm talking about that I'm playing, they're both merchant republics, right? They should be full of money, but I'm struggling, completely struggling.
Hey, Ozone on the YouTube chat. Thank you for joining us. YouTube chop. Sounds like a dance move. Hey, everybody's doing the YouTube chop.
Oh.
Oh, no. Going over.
Oh my God!
Save.
Little bit of dribble. Oh, they got me. I thought I was gonna be able to dribble that one in.
That's going in.
No, I couldn't get there. Yeah, so that's the one thing I've noticed. The new espionage system, I do find, very. I like the espionage so far, especially the whole ability to like influence, your aggressive expansion on a country by having a spy network, and that's a goal. By having a spy network there, and there's lots of things that I think are good about it, but I definitely think it's going to need a couple rebalance patches.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to when it's like a month later, I think, and they've sorted out the things that the community might raise up.
Right.
I think it is sending EU4 in a good light. It just hasn't got it off the bat.
Agreed.
Speaking of Paradox games, though, are you getting Stellaris?
I will absolutely be getting Stellaris. I was talking with Bob actually the other day because he was asking me the same question. I said, so the good news is I am absolutely buying Stellaris. The bad news is, oh boy, I thought I could get that in. The bad news is that I think for work I have a couple of off-site meetings that week, so I don't think I'll be home at all. At least not right away during the release, so that's a little bit of a bummer for me.
Well, I'm completely pretty much off of uni for the week of release.
Oh, nice.
But it is slap bang on the day, dead in the middle of my assessments, like my final year assessments.
Ooh.
So I've got assessments from the 3rd till the 9th. On the 3rd, I've got 2 on the 3rd, 2 on the 6th, 2 on the 9th. So it's I'll have it, but whether I want to have it, I'm not sure. Is what I'm planning on. Is I might buy it on the 10th as a de-stressor once I've done everything.
That might not be a bad idea. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I'm actually traveling the week before it's released, and then I have some all-day meetings all that week. So. Once I can, nice, that was a nice midair. But yeah, so once I can finally get into it, I will probably get into it.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
Oh, I'm in our own goal.
But I'm very much looking forward to it. And it's funny, Bob and I were talking last night, as we were talking about, it's going to be on the channel, yada yada. So, BerCrew Studios will definitely have it on there. I think my only question is, from a YouTube perspective, how saturated that's going to be, because the one thing we're talking about was, Paradox games in a way are a little nichey because they don't appeal to quite as large an audience, and
it doesn't also get that free flow of audience at the beginning.
Yep,
something I've noticed with Paradox. So obviously there's the big. There's the big 6 of strategy players who will get all the views of it. Right. And then 2 months later, we'll see some people going, yeah, I'm sick of these guys. Let's go find the smaller people again.
Right.
It's literally what happens.
Well, and that was horrible.
I know.
Nice.
Save.
So the other piece of that, though, that we were talking about is, my point was this is not your average Paradox game in the sense that it's going to be a bunch of, alternate history style, people watching that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's my bigger question is there going to be a more, I don't want to say mainstream, that's probably not the right word, but a larger audience, because, in general, the 4X space players are usually fine with. We're not going to play those guys again. They were much better than we are.
Yeah.
More importantly, much better than me. But I feel like there's the chance that this will get a much larger group of viewers as well as players than any of the other Paradox titles to date.
Or it might even have the complete adverse effect.
It could, but man, I mean, whenever there's a new space game out, that whole crowd, whether that's Galactic Civ 3 or Master of Orion as an example, right? Like there's usually a pretty diehard group of folks who are looking at some of that.
Yeah.
That is quite a interesting color scheme.
Oh yeah, I'm just
Oh, there you go. You got it just in time.
Yep, just in time.
Pardon me.
Oh.
All right, you're up.
Yeah, okay, fine. I am looking forward to it. I think I need to do some more research into it. I think.
Yeah.
I'm not like super pumped yet. I will be possibly once I'm not thinking about university exams.
Well, and I think the other thing is there just hasn't been a lot of good material yet on the game, and that's kind of expected because the game has a very what's the word I'm looking for, ambitious setup in the sense that it's supposed to have different phases to the game, and there's going to be an early phase and an exploration phase and all this other stuff, right? So I feel like, to some degree, we just the hype's not there because there just hasn't been enough exposed. There's been a couple of minor things, to your point, around some of the bigs on the Paradox world that have seen some of it, but it's like if you showed 20 minutes of EU4, would you really have any understanding of the game? Probably not.
Yeah. It's only going to be like truly unveiled when everyone has a go at it.
Yeah, I agree. Like you're going to need a couple Let's Plays.
10,000 Steam refunds day of release, but we just don't know that.
Yeah, the pre-orders seemed to do pretty well. I know a lot of people who are definitely pre-ordering, and that was a horrible miss on my part.
I thought you had that.
So did I. Yeah, because he just bounced it right over me. Yep.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited about Stellaris, and the other thing that's coming out on the heels of that is Hoi 4, right? Hearts of Iron 4.
Yeah,
and
that I will be picking up.
I know I will be, and it's one of those things where I never really got into 3.
Nope, I still really don't know how to play 3.
Well, I never even really bothered buying it, and part of it was that I kind of. By the time I'd really kind of started to watch some 3, like on YouTube, they had already announced 4. And so I hated the idea that I was going to invest time and effort in a Paradox learning curve world, which is not an insignificant thing, right?
Very.
To learn a game that is basically going to be obsolete in less than a year. Because like EU4, I've got... I want to say like 500 and something hours in that game. Oh boy.
That was almost a really, really nice goal from them.
Yeah, it was. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Hearts of Iron 4. I've heard some good things. I've seen a couple things on it, and I definitely will be picking that up and probably putting it on the channel.
If I don't put it on the channel, I'll still have it, even so, because of even if I'm just playing it on the Magnus's streams and things.
Right.
Because he is like Hearts of Iron 3 crazy, so he'll definitely be playing the shit out, and so will his subscribers. So
after I joined the multiplayer last week, I started checking out some of his content because I hadn't actually seen any of his stuff before. And so yeah, I was checking out. I saw quite a bit of Hoi 3 on there. So
yeah, he
get in there.
Oh, that's a goal.
Yeah,
lovely. If anything, he is like the go-to place for Hoi 3. Considering that's pretty much where 50%, if not 60% of his content is. But yeah, I've just looked over my green screen, and it's actually picking up some of the reflection in my glasses from the light. So if I angle my head right, I will have no eyes.
That's awesome.
You can see into my soul.
How's it look? Does it look empty?
Yeah, definitely. It's like a void space.
Well, just saying. That's it. That's a thing. Oh! Thought I had that cleared.
I thought they were going to miss that.
Excuse me. Yeah, I just knocked it back into him. I was just trying to get it out from in front of the goal.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like sometimes that's all you need to really do.
Oh. Crash.
I like soaring through the air. I'm like an eagle. Oh, boy. Oh, one topic I meant to ask you about, completely unrelated to games. I was reading an article the other day about the National Football League, right? The American Football Professional League, and their desire to put a team in London, like full time. And I was curious to see what's the like viewpoint of that angle over there, because we hear, the American press is somewhat ambivalent towards it. A lot of people are like, I have no idea how in the heck you would actually make that work. But what I'm really curious about is there that much of a desire for that?
Well, I don't know, to be honest. Britain is very British about its sports. Like, we like our tennis, we like our rugby and cricket, we like our football. But American football, it seems to be only something that's done by universities. Like, every university in the country has an American football league as well as a normal football or a rugby team. We don't... And then the Super Bowl is broadcast every however long that's on. Oh, I'm not going to get this.
It's all right. Would have been all right if he hadn't gotten there quickly.
But yeah, so I don't know about that, to be honest. I mean, we another American sport is obviously basketball, and we play it in schools and universities, but it doesn't go much further than that on like mainline British sport telly. So I don't know how that would. I mean, they're welcome to try, I guess. Oh, that's going straight in.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, and it's funny because basketball is, I think, more than football, a much more global sport. Because there's, Italy and a lot of different European countries have basketball teams, and basketball stars in the NBA, the American Basketball League, tend to have a much bigger global presence than a lot of our other sports stars, if you will. So it just seems interesting to me because they're actually talking about starting some games in China, and I think they've got an agreement to play in 3 different stadiums because I think they've got something for the new Tottenham Stadium that's going out.
All right.
There's apparently American football facilities built into that stadium, which I thought was strange.
I'd love to see Chinese people play American football.
That would
They
be
do not look like the sort of nation that would have people of the build for American football.
Yeah. I mean, well, and that's the other piece to that puzzle, right? Is where would they get the talent, right? I mean, would it be from Europe, or would it be in the American, from the American college system? Because I don't know the quality of English college football, but American football, but I have a feeling it's probably not exactly the same.
Oh, it's nowhere near the same as how America does college football.
Yeah, American college football is a multi-billion-dollar business.
Yeah, American college football is like almost some of our football leagues.
Oh yeah.
But also, it's built into your education system, so it's got superpowered.
Yeah, it's very strange, to be honest with you. Oh boy.
That's in the air.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so that's the funny thing, right? Because nice job. That was like a long shot too. Did you get a sniper on that?
Yeah, long goal.
Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, so stadium size, right? I mean, we have multiple college stadiums that are well over 100,000 people.
Yeah.
And
which is like some of our biggest football stadiums.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's more money. We're both on the wrong side of the field. There's more money in football than there is in American football, college football. But like from an attendance perspective, it's pretty close. Oh, yeah. That was horrible.
Well, I had a friend that did a year out in America, and she was just at her university's college, like the joint university she was at. Can't remember where she was in England, but the joint university in it for America. I was just like looking at their American football stadium and how many of them were like viewing it and everything. It was like, holy
it's nuts.
Hell!
It's basically a professional league where they don't get paid. Like as far as like the merchandising and the attendance and everything, it's absolutely on par with a professional league, which is part of the
more because like there's like college pride and everything because like, you get fandom just because they go to the same university as you, not even if they like particularly support the team. They just support their university, don't they?
Yep, absolutely.
College.
Yeah, that's a big thing here. Well, yeah, and Americans are weird about what we call college and what we call university. There's not a lot of rhyme or reason to that.
Yeah.
I mean, there is, but there isn't.
College for me in the UK is the same as what we call sixth form, which is the last 2 years of our highest level of like the education you're made to do, because you're up until a year and a bit ago, you didn't have to do it. But now you have to do at least the first year of it. So that's your 17, 18 16, 17, 18
Interesting.
education. It's more 17, 18, I think. I can't remember. So, yeah.
Oh, right under me. Anyway, so yeah, I'm sorry about the sidetrack there, but I was curious because I literally just read it yesterday, and I thought, oh well.
Well, I hadn't heard of that, but I'm going to actually look into that because I, funny enough, quite like American football to watch. So
it's definitely fun to watch. I mean, it's the highest rated sport over here for a reason, and not just because. Like, we don't call it American football, so it's not a patriotic thing. It's just I think it's more of a gladiatorial thing, to be quite honest with you.
Now, that was something I would definitely go see, gladiatorial.
It's called American football. You can see it every Sunday from summer to basically February. Oh, I've got to get back. I used to have pretty good air hit meta, but man, I am rusty. We probably played this game for months solid, and then we just fell off it completely.
Yeah, I used to really like this game, but I fell off it because I had very little amount of people to play it with. It's definitely a game you need to be with people to play, I feel.
Alright, I'm having some buffering issues, so I'm going to kill the Twitch for a second and see if that helps.
And they scored.
Nope.
They literally, it just went straight at your car and in.
Yeah, I was literally tabbed out to get my my YouTube. I was trying to stream to both, but I think I was buffering badly on both of them, so I just kicked it down to the YouTube for now.
Okay, fair. I am solidly on both because my university's upload speed is amazing.
Yeah, I'm maybe at 4 megs combined, so that's
wow.
That's pushing it with the double stream.
Yeah, well, university I get pretty much Bob level up. Really limited down though.
Really?
Yeah, because the reason for that is all of my accommodation is boosted onto one server, so the majority of what students do is stream TV, which is all your download speed.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, like I have 130 megs down, but I just have the 4 up, and to be fair, most of the time that's fine because, to your point, right? If you're streaming Netflix or something, streaming YouTube, no big deal.
Yeah. Oh. Well, at least he's dead.
Yes.
Oh no!
Bad. Anyhow, So yeah, Hoi 4. I'm very curious to see how that works out. Back to video game topics here, but and the interesting part for me is going to be like, I've played EU4 for so long. Hoi 4 will be an absolutely new experience for me, and so I don't know how well that's going to translate to YouTube because I'm not the best EU4 player around, but I think
definitely
serviceable. And so how does that work now when I'm learning kind of on the fly? Oh God.
Oh Jesus, they're all over us.
Yeah. Well, also trying to maintain a conversation and play a video game like this that's all twitchy is a little difficult.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be curious to see how that goes. And then CK2, I started really the multiplayer series that I was doing with Bob was kind of my let's learn, CK2, and I feel like I was just kind of getting my stride, and then we kind of killed the series. It wasn't doing amazingly well, but also, we wanted to get the Mare Nostrum stuff out, and then I think he needed some extra time for some of the AAR stuff he's doing with the Benjamin Magnus games thing. So I don't know what to do with that because I feel like CK2 has such great potential to be entertaining YouTube content because it's such a there's so many there's so many like weird things that happen, right? And in Bob and I's English Dukes series, when he took the seduction focus and how hilarious that was, and there's just so many personality character related things that I feel like are just really fun. They're just a blast. But
I think that's why I like it more. I think although I've put technically less hours into CK2, I think I understand it more because it's more character focused.
Yeah, it's more RPG than it is strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff, I was streaming on Twitch and YouTube just as an experiment, and apparently it was a horrible experiment. If you could have your company give me better streaming, that'd be great. Or better upload speeds, that'd be awesome.
Is what I'm actually thinking of doing for the summer is talking to my parents' internet service provider to see if I can get like a business bolt on to their thing that I pay for a couple of months, because we've got like fiber optic broadband where we should be getting gigs, but the company itself puts a limiter on it, so we get a maximum of 5 megabits upload, and then like 150 down.
So one city over from us, which is Kansas City, they have Google Fiber there. So my buddies over there have like a gig up and a gig down, and I want to punch them in the face
because they're not using it.
Well, because I don't have it. I don't care if they use it or not. I just like the things I could do with a gig upload and a gig down. I could stream to all the things while I'm uploading all the content from last night. It would just take so many restrictions off of everything. So the other a couple other things that are coming out this year, and I don't remember if we talked about this last time I was in on the show or not, but like I was watching some more No Man's Sky the other day, because that's like full hype. The hype is real, and I don't know if the hype is actually real, but the hype machine is real. I say that.
Okay.
But I don't know if you looked into that game at all yet. But
I haven't, not at all, but I do intend to. I'll write it down as well once I'm not trying to score.
Yeah, so just kind of high level to pique the interest of you and maybe those who have not researched it yet. It is a procedurally generated game. So everything in it is procedurally generated. The planets, the solar systems, the space
I remember you mentioning
systems,
this now.
yeah.
Ooh, that was nice.
And so IGN, not sponsored by, but IGN has some really good videos, and they've posted some really recently on like crafting and the economy and gameplay, and it's just a fascinating concept. And I think the more I've watched it, the more I'm not sure if they figured it out this time, but the more I think that the games that are going to come from it, because to me it has a little bit of the you remember when Minecraft came out?
Oh yeah.
Like nothing. There was nothing like Minecraft in a sense, right? You know, that broad open world, full sandbox. You know, mod the hell out of it. It was such a new experience. And it didn't stay a new experience because a lot of people then emulated it. And to me, you know, No Man's Sky kind of has that vibe like, hey, lots of people could take this to the next level, you know, after this first thing, because what they get out of the procedural generation as far as you know, there's basically no load times. Like, you can jump in a ship. The planet is I think full scale or close to full scale. So like it takes you weeks to walk across a planet. Like it's not like you can just go, you know, you can just walk around a planet in 5 minutes. It would take you weeks of in real time to walk around a planet. And there's like hundreds of it's actually an infinite universe, right? Because it's procedurally generated. And so there's, you know, millions of stars and whatever else, right? So, so I think, you know, that idea, but one of the things that's interesting is like it doesn't have load time. So when you are on a planet and then you jump in a ship and then you hop out into space, it's a seamless transition. There is no load. There is no load window. And oh boy,
I've just got the feeling my CPU will die playing this game.
Well, that's what I'm curious to see, right? And I want to say, I don't know if it's going to be out on the PS4, maybe? I'd have to look.
Oh, wow.
I think it's going to be on the PC for sure, but I think it might be on other platforms as well. Because every time I've seen it played is played with a controller.
Ah.
Ooh. So, yeah, do some research on that. We'll chat more about that. I'd love to get both of you guys' thoughts on that. We've talked about it in the Twitch Last King Standing group a little bit, but oh, no, that was bad. Nice block.
Epic save.
That was epic, actually.
He's going to take it up the field.
He's going
to take it up the field.
Oh, nice. I thought he was going to counter that for a second.
Hat trick.
So Jeff says it'll be on PS4 and Xbox, actually, which is kind of cool. But anyway, I'm just curious to see if they're the next Minecraft, because it has a vibe like they will be. Maybe not the same commercial success that Minecraft had, but at least the same like impact on the gaming development community.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I will definitely look into that.
Ooh, just bad.
I don't know if you agree with me, but recently, all of the like the titles that have been released has been like the last 2 years have been super AAA heavy, and it's been like the best years for gaming according to some people. I feel like this year is going to be the strategy market's kind of catch-up session where they're like, we're releasing stuff too. So I just feel like Paradox, for an example. Everyone is starting to release their long-awaited games,
right?
Or at least start creating their long-awaited betas and things.
Yeah, I mean, for Paradox, for sure. Whether the rest of the strategy market's doing anything, though, I mean, the problem has almost become that, like, who is the strategy market outside of Paradox?
Yep.
I mean, who's done it successfully? There's certainly been, you know, some strategy games out there, and one that I'm actually going to try here in a little bit is Ashes of the Singularity.
Yeah.
Daddy, but I mean, yes, sweetie.
I broke this.
You broke some? Oh no.
Aww.
She broke this.
What's she broken?
It's some sort of solar-powered butterfly toy.
That sounds epic.
Yeah, but at the toy store, but I broke it.
Yeah, so that's maybe one of my concerns is I don't know what's left of the strategy game market. I mean, I guess there has been some things like Master of Orion released, and there's a few things out, but I just feel like that's a dying, like the age of, you know, the multiplayer games, the free to play has sort of put a crimp in that entire industry. I mean, Civ Beyond Earth came out, but I mean that's like, you know, Civ the 17th kind of a thing. It's just it's one game that hasn't died.
Yeah, that is true, because time and time again, I think strategy gamers are going back and playing their old favorites, because strategy game was the game that you could play a hell of a lot of before graphics were a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was all about thinking, and you're pretty much playing a visual database.
Well, and that's why, like, Master of Orion was one of my favorite games. Master of Orion 2, actually. That sucked. And now that they've rebooted it, I mean, it's a very similar game. It's really almost like they've done a graphical refresh and then made some minor tweaks to it. Because, you know, that game was out in 1995 or 94 or something crazy. It's like
another game that's older than me, yeah.
Yeah, back in, like, the original Civ. Like, it came out right after Civ, I want to say. Like, the original Civ. And so, yeah, there's some franchises that have lots of longevity, but other than Paradox, maybe the Total War series, I just feel like that's a genre that's been widely abandoned. And yeah, I think a lot of it is the fact that the AAA stuff just seems either it makes more money or you know, nobody's got some new bent on it. Because I don't remember if we were talking about it before, but I feel like FPSs have sort of gotten stale. Like, there's still a bunch of them, and they still make lots of money, but I just don't feel like there's been any major innovations on that game style in so long.
Well, there's the thing. There's actually been quite a few videos and things recently, and whispers and things. But because the Call of Duty franchise, as a prime example, every FPS game, including them, are going more and more into the future. When some of the best games, arguably, were the ones set in the World Wars and things that we actually know, like Modern Warfare, where it's like pretty much the Gulf War.
Oh, yeah.
And there's been... The reason that they stopped doing that is because every first-person shooter started doing the same scenarios in World War II, like the Battle of Stalingrad or the stuff, the Normandy landings. For example, you can think Medal of Honor Frontline. Oh, well done.
Thank you.
But it's all become stunted with that. However, like the Pacific Theater of War, for example, has been pretty much untouched. Like,
I think it was like Battlefield 1942 that last touched that one, really.
Yeah, and the only other one I can think of is Call of Duty 5, and that was for half the campaign.
Right.
Where you actually did the American-Japanese stuff. But you could do so many other things. For example, I haven't seen a game since Call of Duty 2 Big Red One touch the Africa stuff, or you could do a Call of Duty campaign in the Pacific, but from, say, the point of view as a Gurkha or someone in the British forces. Like, because we were there before the Americans were, and we lost a lot of stuff.
Right. Well, and I think they had Battlefield Vietnam, which wasn't a major success, but it was at least some variance to the environment. Mm-hmm. But they also, I don't think anyone's done a Korea of any sort.
That'd be nice.
You know, there's a lot of things that haven't been touched, but I mean, even aside from just the whatchamacallit, oh god, I walked right by that one. Even beyond just the locations, I feel like the gameplay itself is just not very innovative. Like, it's all some variation on some game that's already existed. You know, and I think a lot of people were excited about The Division, but I feel like The Division is like a lot of other cover shooters that I've ever played, right? I mean, and I don't know what the answer to that is. Maybe there's just nothing to be done there, but I feel like that the AAA title developers have just sort of decided that, you know, let's reskin it. Let's add a new weapon. Maybe there's a new special ability, and then we'll update the graphics engine, and then we'll call it done.
Yeah.
And I expect more out of my quote-unquote AAA titles, maybe, but That's my issue with that entire genre. Is it's just it is what it is now.
They're gonna score.
Oh, I couldn't get it.
Just an inch out the way.
Yep.
But yeah, I completely agree. I went in the Easter break from my uni. I actually stayed at my girlfriend's for a couple of days, and it was the first time I played a modern Call of Duty since Black Ops 2, and I didn't really like Black Ops 2, and because her brother is a big PS4 gamer, so I got a chance to play them. And I was thinking, well, all they've done here is combine Call of Duty and Halo's jump mechanics, but I already had Halo for that,
right?
So.
Yeah, I mean, Halo at least brought some new stuff to the table, right? Like, you know, it's really one of the first ones to really get some good vehicles in there, and there were things that were unique about Halo with the environments and some of that other stuff. But I'm kind of the same way. Like, I haven't really bought, like, I own the new Call of Duty just because I own a PS4, but I don't think I've unwrapped it yet. Like. Yeah. That's how little interest I have in it.
That's why I'm quite happy with the indie market at the moment. They're the ones doing the stuff that the AAA titles don't want to do, and I think like we're becoming more and more, especially on computer games. I think we are becoming more reliant on indie games.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's even a question at this point. That's where all the like, and I thought this War of Mine, which was like Pickle's first series on the channel, like the idea that someone said, let's take all these games that we've all been playing for years and take it from a totally different angle. I thought, oh man, you know, like it almost took an indie studio to figure that out, right? Because you know, that was to me a revolutionary idea at the time.
It's such a pretty game as well.
Oh yeah.
The
art style variance on indie games is nice. Mm-hmm. What was I watching the other day? Sips was playing something. It was some indie game that I put it on my follow list today. Actually, it was like Night Drifter or something. I can't remember, but you know, like it was a pixel art thing, and but it was just beautifully done, and you know, the AAA studios have spent the last 10 years trying to one up and make everything ultra realistic. And I feel like the indie guys really got it, and they're like, listen guys, graphics isn't unimportant, but it's gameplay,
it's the game that's the important
that matters, right? And so we got like, you know, a lot of these pixel art stuff that just had amazing gameplay, and so I feel like hopefully someday, you know, bigger studios figure out the balance between the two, and that driving these crazy graphics games isn't necessarily going to drive sales. It's not necessarily going to drive anything. I mean, I say that as I play Rocket League, which is, you know, a little bit that
nice.
Yeah, but you know, there was a game that predated it that was maybe not quite as nice, but the other thing is that I always find really intriguing about the big studios that I feel like they forget a lot is the size of your market. Because when you push the boundaries of competitive, or not competitive, but of like you know, graphics engines and whatnot, performance. Nope, sorry. You really limit your the people you can sell to, because not everybody can afford, and less people are putting money into you know, crazy gaming rigs at this point, right? Especially as the mobile gaming stuff gets bigger. So I think some of the people who've gotten it right are the people who built for multi-platform. Oh god, I should have scored.
No, we've not got this.
No, not enough time. You know, like what was that, Punch Club, that released on both PC and like iPad and everything. And so like the game appeals to such a broader audience, because when you have those pixel art games, it just, you don't need that crazy of a computer to pull that off.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm talking from a standpoint where I probably could handle some of those games, but even I think I could to play some of the top games and say record them like we have to. I would definitely have to do more upgrades, which is like to play a game. I'm looking at paying another £500, which is like what $800.
Yeah, it's not. I just got mine upgraded recently, and it was silly how much money it costs. But I think that the one I Steam Workshop or Steam Early Access is a bit of a controversial subject, right? In the sense that a lot of people are irritated with it, but I do like that despite some of its issues, we're getting to see some games that we probably wouldn't have gotten to see before.
Oh, definitely.
And while I think early access absolutely has warts, and it has a lot of them, it's also just done amazing things. And there's some, like the other series, the other primary series on our channel, which is Ark. I mean, that's an early access game, and I think it's done great things. Nice. I think it's done great things for that. Yeah, I agree, Jeff. They put a lot of time into art and graphics, and that's cool. But yeah, I'd rather they spend money on people. It's like you ever play those tycoon games, like the game studio games. I almost want to be like, hey, you want to give those to like the actual game studio guys. Say, hey, listen, it's cool that this is pretty, but you didn't put any time into the gameplay. So why don't you fire like 5 of these art guys and now go put some guys on the experience or the gameplay mechanics or story or anything but the art, because we get it, it's pretty. That's fun.
Is what I would like, even if they didn't like, because there's no way they're going to stop making big games until it stops making the money. But is what they could do is, even if it's like Microsoft start doing this, or even governments, like the games market is one that's relatively untapped by most countries, and it requires quite high levels of education, and it's from like universities and outputs. If there was some subsidies from bigger companies into smaller development studios, so say Microsoft and the example is I was watching some economics of gaming company stuff, and one of the examples is Norway. Norway has one of the highest costs of living and highest GDP in the world, but has very little, and they have a very few amount of gaming companies.
I assume you mean GDP per capita.
Yeah.
Because they're way too small to have a high GDP.
Yeah, I mean per capita. Yeah. Well, America's going to dominate just flat GDP, aren't they?
Well, I mean, I'm talking even compared to most other European countries. Norway is actually Norway appears much larger than it actually is on a map, and most of it is not inhabited, right? So, like from a population perspective, purely.
Yes.
And we're not. Trust me, the U.S. is not top 2, right? We're number 3, number 4, number 5. We're down there.
But the thing is, they have a thing in their government where they're not allowed to do anything that is regarded as out of the lines that anyone else would do.
What in the world does that even mean?
Like, for example, they wouldn't be allowed to do anything innovative with gaming because it's not what other people would do. There's actually a financial thing where the government would never be able to back that. But, like, they have, like, one of the highest university outputs for, like, education, for their, like, size and money and everything, that a big gaming studio in Norway would do fantastically. And you'd get some fantastic content from it if it had the government's backing. So, I reckon if governments, like, sort of subsidized smaller, like, gave grants and things to the people that want to start small independent companies. One, it would create jobs for people in the technology market where there's slowly more and more diminishing, Jobs
in the technology market?
For Europe, there's much less and less because it's getting outsourced.
Wow, I was gonna say that's like one of our fastest growing job markets.
Oh yeah. No, for a lot of the European sector, obviously, it's we're fighting the fight against America and China with technology. So we're like, well, but like there's adverts on the English TV for people to also want to do science, and if you started subsidizing like gaming companies creating those jobs for people that might want to do, say, computer science, you're going to get people studying computer science in the UK and things. And it's just going to be better for us. And then, as a gaming community, we might get some of these better, smaller indie games that there are so few of.
Yeah, I just can't imagine like a government seeing the financial benefit of subsidizing video games.
Oh, this is
like
best world scenario. Yeah. It's never going to happen, but
like not without like a 90% tax rate. That's a goal.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I just missed it. Yeah, I mean that's part of the thing, right? Like what I'll tell you is, so how do we handle that here? We have what you're talking about. We have. It's just not by the government, right? So, and I assume you guys have it too, right? Incubators and things like that. I don't know if that's a thing over there. Where we have there's different ways that it's funded, but sometimes it's venture capitalists, sometimes it's larger companies, sometimes it's nonprofits, but they fund these things called incubators, where and actually a buddy of mine started his company through this, and what it was in the city there was this place that basically they would give, if you had an idea for a product. And not for nothing, right? I mean, it'd be basically, they would get a certain stake in your company, but they will give you, maybe it's $20,000 to U.S. dollars for the first 6 months for you to, and you get to work in this place, and you have access to the internet and equipment and whatever else, and for the first 6 months, you got 30 grand, and you can start to develop your idea. And maybe after 6 months, if it looks like it's going well, you might exchange another 10% of your company for another 100 grand because they think you can do that. And so there's all these different mechanisms that allow for that, at least here, from the private sector, and absolutely things like video games and applications and whatnot. And I feel like that if that's not something done over there, then that's crazy.
Yeah, well, I believe I mean I don't know. I'd have to research it, but the only thing I haven't personally heard of it. It's not something that's well advertised in the UK. So a lot of what companies have to do is literally go off their own back and try and find someone to invest in the hopes that they'll see it. Wow. The only thing close to what you said is a TV show we have called Dragon's Den. So, which I think is in America as well.
I don't think it's called Dragon's Den. You're probably thinking, I think in the U.S. it's called Shark Tank.
Possibly. But
it's like they have like all these rich guys, and you go in front of them and you pitch your idea, and they'll either give you an investment or not. And
that is literally the closest thing to what you to like somewhere that is commonly known where businesses can get like a foothold. Even then, you have to have an already working business for that really to take off.
Right.
And I think the only two well-known things we've gotten out of Dragon's Den is some reggae sauce and I think a jam company.
A jam company.
And someone who makes prams. I remember that one doing well. Like the ones that you read about like 2 years later.
Right.
Literally, the nation of British entrepreneurs is tiny. It's just something that doesn't happen, and really the government doesn't do anything to change that. When it really should, because it would help us a lot.
Yeah, and so I've probably owned or ran very small scale, mind you, like 3 or 4 companies, in my my lifetime, if you will. Not anything that's gotten big or that I put a ton of money into, but I had bank accounts and a business license and everything else. And honestly, here that's very, very simple and extraordinarily common. Like it's, there's so many people that start up their own companies here. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I want to say that small businesses are the largest employer in the U.S. Like if you combine all the people that are employed by small businesses and the people that are employed by large companies, there's more from small businesses.
Well, I'm at the moment run a small business, but it's literally in the only sector where the government helps entrepreneurs. And that's if they want to set up a business in the creative arts.
Get it in there. Nice.
Yeah, there we go. Ooh, because that's probably going to be our final game of the day. It's nice to win it.
Yeah, you're right, Jeff. Kickstarters are taking off. I don't know that the market's flooded. I think that the market is more demanding now. So, I mean, lots of things still do well on Kickstarter, but they have to be better and newer, slicker ideas. Where I think before, Kickstarter was a little more, you could do just about anything, and somebody would fund it. But nowadays, your Kickstarter campaigns have to actually not suck.
Yeah.
Because for a while it was like, hey, I want to draw a comic book. Here's $50,000, but now there's some amazing products that have happened on Kickstarter, and I think that honestly, that business model, we're exiting out because we're at the hour mark here, but I want to finish this conversation. That concept of things like Kickstarter and other websites like it, I think is going to be, and I don't know is Kickstarter even a thing over there? Are you guys allowed to do Kickstarter? I don't know if there's I don't know the legality in other countries, right?
I'm actually not sure.
So
I know what it is, but I've only ever seen American things do it.
Yeah, so Kickstarter, I think, is the future of that idea because it allows companies to basically pre-sell their idea before they take business loans and all this other stuff out, right? Like some of them do, but it's at a very small scale, so that people don't have to risk their entire lives over an idea when they can just say, hey, here's what I built. I mocked it up. I spent a little bit of my own money, but I didn't go like massively in debt. What do you guys think? And it either doesn't raise enough money and you don't put any money into it and you move on to the next thing, or it makes like $1 million and you go, holy that's amazing. Yeah. That's a great thing. And boom, you're off to the races. So, I think that's a healthy thing. And part of it is that people, I think, are still hesitant to make those risks, but I think that the best thing for everybody needs to become more entrepreneurial, because if you look at things like Uber and Airbnb and some of these new platforms, right? eBay was maybe an early example of it, where you could go and sell anything you wanted. You became a retailer because of the platform. Those types of things may be the future. There was a CEO of a very large tech company who gave a keynote speech at a convention I went to once, and he said it is very possible that in the future that if you have a company, a very large company, a multi-billion-dollar company, there'll be a CEO, a CFO, and then everybody else will be outsourced. And by outsourced, I mean their own freelance contractors, right? So that's probably where we're headed.
Oh, definitely. You can see that. Well, that kind of grows as the internet grows, I think, because everyone can contact everybody. So outsourcing is just now the easiest thing to do.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it allows for people who are really good at what they do to really leverage that into something instead of just like suffering in a company who takes them for granted, right? Now, the bad part is that it will put a light on those who have been trying to hide under the radar, right? Because if you're truly outsourced and you don't do anything well, you're not going to get hired. Yeah,
there's pros and cons to it. Anyway, anything you want to say just before we wrap up?
No, just thanks everybody for joining the Casus Belli Show. We are weekly. What time is it in your neck of the woods when we start?
It will be 5 p.m. my time.
When we start or end?
Yeah, when we start. It's 5 p.m. GMT because I'm 5 hours ahead of Eastern Central.
Yeah. So, we'll be starting every Saturday, basically, 5 p.m. CS or GMT. And, Usually there will be 3 of us here. It will be myself, Midgeman here, myself, Nemes from BerCrew Studios, Midgeman, and Bob from Maniacal Studios. But Bob had some things this week. I had some things last week. That will happen. But join us every week, and we'll have different topics that we'll go through. And I tell you what, we're going to post these videos to the respective YouTube channels. And one of the things that I think we need to solicit from you guys is put some comments down there if you want to bring up a topic. And I'm going to say that at the beginning of the next show, because most of you probably, if you aren't here right now, you probably didn't listen for the whole hour.
I might put an annotation in.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of those quizzes.
Yeah, so comment, tell us what you want to hear about, tell us what you want us talking about. Feel free to throw some topics at us, and we'll chime in on them. So other than that, no, just thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye-bye, guys.
See ya.
I'm clear.